Hello and welcome back, guys, to another episode of the DC Alliance podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Clay, and tonight, Heinz is not here with me, but once again, a Ranger takeover. We have been doing this a lot lately.
This is our third time together in like a week.
Yeah. Joe is here with me tonight to discuss tonight's topics. Joe, how have you been, sir?
Tired. I'm counting down the days to my vacation from work. I say vacation, but I've got every Wednesday at work scheduled off. Um, just end of the year. It's just what my girlfriend and I've been doing. It breaks up the week and it's relaxing. So I'm counting down the days to that, and then also counting down the days to Friday because I know we're a DC. This is a DC podcast, but there's a big
Oh,
movie coming out Friday.
I was telling you guys on the GUA chat. I like this movie in a way is how I feel about Christmas. So for
That's
me,
fair.
I love Christmas. Christmas is really fun on the day. So like when people are like, "Oh, it's October. Let's get ready for Christmas." No. Like I despise those people. But like it doesn't really hit me until the week of and I'm like, "Oh, it's Christmas," you know? And so when I think it was this morning, Brent was like, "Happy Spidey Monday." And I was like,
It's
"Oh, it's here." Like I was
coming.
like, "Oh," I was so excited. And I started thinking of stuff and listening to other people talk about it. And I also been here's a shameless plug, go over to the Geekverse podcast. They are doing retros of all the Spider-Man, or they are republishing those
Yeah.
from back when they were uh preparing for Homecoming and then, all the way to Far From Home. I will say Travis and Taylor both had some pretty cool predictions that have so far come true.
Very
So,
nice. Very nice.
kudos to them and just go check it out. It's a lot of fun. I actually held back on Amazing Spider-Man 2 until this weekend when I actually watched it for the very first time and listened to
Yeah,
that.
you're saying that.
So go check that out. But I was getting pretty excited today, and so I was like, "Oh man," theorizing about like, "Oh, what are we gonna see?" What? Like right now, I am pretty sure the red carpet is ongoing right
I
now,
believe so. At the time of our recording, yes.
and so like I'm probably gonna be going on to Twitter and saying like, "Ooh, who's on the red carpet?" Saying getting spoiled. We all
Well,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Why would you do? Really? Why would you do that? That was
I,
on you, man.
it is on me. But all that to say this. This is actually my last week of podcasting for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to end on a banger of Spider-Man No Way Home. That's going to be so much fun. So you, of course, will hear me tonight here on DC Alliance. Then, of course, uh, well, technically because of scheduling,
I was gonna say, okay,
we
yes,
are attempting to plan something out, so we may hear me one last time,
after
but
Christmas, but
after
yes.
Christmas. But this, whole week, I am, on my own, just trying to get through it because I am off for 2 weeks from school. The only thing that I'm not off, unlike you, I'm still going to be working, but that's pretty much all I want on my plate, and I'm just going to relax.
I don't blame you. Do
So
not blame you one bit.
50 weeks on,
2
2
weeks
weeks
off.
off. So, guys, we have a pretty big show for you tonight. We're kind of talking throughout the day about what we would really be talking about. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and do the paperwork for the network. Of course, we are a part of the GUA, the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, with 8 shows, 7 days a week on a bi-weekly schedule. Those bi-weekly shows being World's Finest True Believers, Ranger Alliance, A Walk Through the Multiverse, and of course, A Slice of Film. Now, A Slice of Film has just made an announcement tonight that they will be taking a hiatus, but you can always hear Katie's lovely voice with me over at Star Wars Alliance Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to hit the bell on our YouTube channel, Geek First YouTube channel, so that way you can have all of the notifications set to when we go live. So we are also a listener and ad supported network. What that means is that you will hear ads in this episode. We will give you a warning so that way, you're not bombarded with like, oh my God. Now, I will say this. Unfortunately, just due to circumstances where I live now, we are technically moving because of this. But we heard a domestic disturbance. And since then, I've been getting domestic violence ads on. Like me and my wife have been talking about it a lot.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
the ad is like how people are like basically trying to convince themselves to stay with the said person. And like every day I'm just like, this is horrible. Why am I like, why are they targeted like this? This is like scary and oh my God. Which is the whole
Never
point
mind.
of the commercial. So,
Yes, yes, yes,
guys,
yes.
with that being said, domestic violence, super bad. If you
Mhm.
hear and or are a part of any of that, go find somebody for help. So you will be getting ads here. If you don't want to listen to these ads, you could always join our Patreon. Of course, that is a $1 tier and a $5 tier. $1 tier says thank you. $5 tiers, of course, gives you the exclusive content and, of course, the early access to all of our shows. So
I mean, I'm not trying to give you notes, but you forgot the weekly shows. You went right from the bi-weekly into the
I
Patreon
tell
Plus.
you this is the second time that I've told you this, Joe. I make sure to tell everybody the bi-weekly shows because everything
Yes.
else is weekly. Everybody
Yes, but
else
you
is
didn't
going
you
to.
didn't say the other shows. That's what I was getting at.
Okay, so the other shows, of course,
We got to promote
are
the other shows, bro.
DC Alliance, Superhero Discussions, Star Wars Alliance, and Marvel Alliance. Okay? Everybody
What
who is
what if
on everybody who is
what if this is the first
subscribed.
time somebody listens and they don't know about the other shows? What if
That
they
is why
just
you
found DC
subscribe. That
Alliance
is
and
why
they
you
didn't know?
subscribe to the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. I was getting to that. If you would just be patient, Joe.
Look,
See, guys, this is what I have to go through every other month with Joe. But anyways, of
you
course,
love
you
it, you
guys
know it.
you guys can of course subscribe to the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network on any podcatcher of choice. But also DC Alliance, Star Wars Alliance, and Marvel Alliance all have their separate feeds. So if you like those topics specifically, you can always subscribe to those separately, or you can just subscribe to GUA and get everything all the time. So, with that being said, special announcement. I am pretty sure, Joe, with how things are going to be working out, you are going to be putting out an early episode this week.
No. So because Chris, I talked to Chris directly, and then he also announced it on Marvel Alliance. They're going to be doing two shows this week. Their normal Thursday show or normal Friday show. Apologies, but they're recording that one early. I think they're recording it Wednesday night immediately, which will cover Hawkeye and maybe some news. I'm not 100% sure.
Hmm.
But then they will also be doing their movie review Friday night to get put out
Yes.
Saturday. And
Yes.
then my show will be still coming out Saturday. Uh, please listen. It's gonna be. I'm. My topic this week will be covering. I found a list of holiday comic books, and I don't really say like holiday. It's just like single issues or holiday themed comic books
Okay.
that
Yeah.
I it's a list of them I found, and I'm like, this is seems like a good idea. Let's go with it. I'm going to cover them. Going to talk about them. I found like 5 or 6 that have popped up on multiple lists that I chose those. I'm going to read those and cover those. I also ask if you guys are listening, if you want to write in what your favorite holiday issue or comic book series or graphic novel, if you guys have one that you just love, write me in. Tell me why you love it. I'll talk about it on my podcast.
Is it
On
pronounced Klaus or Claus? I can
so
never.
I pronounce it Klaus.
Dan Mora
Um, Grant Morrison.
Morrison.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just read that yesterday, and I will be talking about that one.
So good. I have been wanting for so long. I need Morrison to write a Power Rangers Klaus crossover.
Dude,
That's what I
it would
want.
be amazing.
And the reason why is because Dan Mora just recently, if you go to his Instagram, if you go to his Twitter or whatever, He has concept art for a Santa Claus Power Ranger outfit. So, just saying it. Boom Studios, anybody out there in the ether, I have been saying this for years. I think this is the second year that I've trying to like throw this out into
Put
the
it out there.
ether.
Yeah.
Please make it happen. Like, if you give freaking Santa a Mighty Morphin Morpher,
It doesn't even have to be Mighty Morphin. It could be.
like
He could
his
just
own,
have access to the Zeo Crystal, maybe. Why not?
like even like if he uses like something in his criteria of like his clothing to be a morpher, that would be great. I would love it. It would
I
be
mean,
absolutely amazing.
if you connect it to Klaus, then I mean, you've read Klaus, so why couldn't it be something that he makes or something
Yeah,
that
see,
maybe those tree spirits gave him?
exactly. I pitched it as something like uh of course it would unfortunately have to be the Green Ranger. But like because everything always happens with the Green Ranger. He would
Could be
be
White
like
Ranger.
he, same freaking person, okay? He would jump into the past for some reason and meet younger Klaus, and then by the time he gets back, he partners up with the like
Yeah.
older Santa Claus, and it would be so good. But we are getting way off
Yes, we are.
topic here.
Wrong
Wrong
show.
show. This is a Ranger takeover, but we still need to talk DC. So, first topic of tonight. It has been all over my Twitter feed, and we were kind of talking right before we went live here.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't much new stuff, but of course, because it's Batman, any small 0.2 second clip will get people excited.
Yeah.
Snell, I'm talking to you. Uh, so
It's
this
exciting. It really is. But it seems like there's a few extended scenes, and yeah, you're right. Not a lot of new scenes.
No, this is of course a Japanese trailer. Um, I will say personally, guys, watch at your own discretion. I'm going to say what's at the very end of this trailer right now. If you would like to skip ahead uh, a minute or two, so that way you're not spoiled at all, because I feel like it might be spoilerish. Ready, 3, 2, 1. The Riddler says in a very creepy way, "Oh, I have been waiting for you, Bruce Wayne.
I've been trying
Uh,
to reach you,
I've been
Bruce
trying to
Wayne.
reach you, Bruce
What they
Wayne."
forgot to say is about his car warranty.
Now, Travis had said, Snell had said, if this is, Riddler knowing that Batman is Bruce Wayne, then, hashtag Travis told you so. Honestly, I don't know if I would like that.
But it also, what's to say this isn't just a trailer? You know, they cut the stuff up
No,
purposely
yes, it is.
to try and get people to
You
talk.
can very much be like misleading with this trailer,
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah,
hundred
yeah.
percent, and I can totally understand that. But like,
That being
just the
said, though,
vibe, and I will say, the vibe that it gave is the vibe that they wanted to give.
yes, yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
they succeeded in what they were trying to do.
Now, and I'm not against them. I'm not against Riddler knowing that information. In comic lore, he finds it out later. You know,
Yes.
in a certain story arc. And for people who are listening who don't want that to try not to give spoilers out here, you guys can figure it out. Good story arc, bad animated movie, but there's your hint. Uh,
I mean, how old is the comic?
it doesn't matter,
It's
but if
hardly spoilers. Hardly.
don't tell them that because it could be spoilers for this. Look, Amazing Spider-Man, that could be a spoiler for Far From Home. You don't know, or No Way Home. Sorry, you don't know.
Maybe.
How old is that movie? But no,
But
seriously, like it. This, I'm excited for this movie. I'm a Batman fan. I've always been a Batman fan. Once I heard Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, I was like, okay, I'm fine with this. Because I've I have not seen him outside of Harry
Twilight.
Potter. No,
Oh,
I never watched Twilight. I knew he was in Twilight, refuse to this day to watch Twilight. Will not watch it.
I will
Ever.
say this: first one is horrendous. Second one was a complete 180 as far as cinematography and the way they wanted to actually like show that movie franchise, which is, I will say, so glad. See, in high school, I was one of those people that was like, "Oh, I can't judge something unless I've read the source material." And so, one of my best friends, she had all the books. I was like, "Fine, I'll read them, whatever." And so they're all right. It's not like a crazy, like, not my favorite freaking book franchise ever. Now,
Nah, man.
the
Fuck that. Sparkly
y-
vampires. Fuck that.
so Joe, I was working at the movie theater when this movie came out.
Of course.
Holy crap. Now, I will say the only thing that good that came out of that first movie was Paramore's sick album. So I still listen to this day.
I'll give you that.
But yeah, no, Robert Pattinson,
Looks
I'm
amazing.
still
Like he
very
looks. I'm sold. I'm
I'm
really am.
still very excited to see what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Um my my immediate thought when he was casted, of course, was, oh, sparkling Batman. Cool.
See, and yes, I thought like, oh man, he definitely needs to get out of the Twilight umbrella, but I also know he's done
But
so
that
much
is
more
I
since
was going to say
Twilight
that is for the
that
general audience, not the
correct.
movie gurus that have been watching all of his indie movie titles.
Correct. I've heard I haven't seen all that. I haven't seen any of those, but I've
Mhm.
heard nothing but great things. So I'm fine with him being Bruce Wayne, being Batman. I'm ready for it.
Now, what I will mention to you, because of course Heinz is not here to share his thoughts. He did show a little screenshot to me. There is a scene here. Well, SBub says people hated on everything about Twilight because it was the trend. Same with Justin Bieber. um,
No, Twilight just sucks. I'm just kidding, that's Bub. I haven't seen it. I haven't. My
now,
girlfriend likes them, so I can't
very
like hate
nice.
on it too much.
Now, there is a screenshot that just kind of talks about how uh, on a newspaper or like a magazine or something uh, that Bruce Wayne is reclusive. So he is
Oh,
an
interesting.
introvert. And I'm like, yeah, you can kind of tell that by all the other trailers, and everything that we've seen so far. But it seems that some fans of the Batman have been looking and kind of digging through this trailer and have seen in that same photo of Bruce Wayne on that newspaper, there is only from under the nose and down a white smile. And I have to ask Joe, do you think the Joker is in this movie?
So it came out, I think, late last week that I think it was WB was shopping around two cuts of the film.
Mm-hmm.
One with a mysterious. Did they say mysterious
Cameo.
villain or cameo?
They
Okay.
said a certain cameo. They didn't
Okay.
say mysterious. They said a certain cameo.
Um, I am not against the Joker being in this film. I honestly think we need to move away from the Joker. He's been in every single
100%
franchise.
agree.
Which look, I'm not. I like the Joker. I really do. If they have uh the actor, I cannot remember his name. Yeah, thanks, S Bubs. If they have the actor from Eternals, uh, rumored
Uh
to be playing the Joker, I'm
oh shoot,
down.
I
Yeah,
can't
I can't
remember his
remember his
name either.
name. Brian something. That doesn't sound right. Right? Is that wrong? I'm not gonna look it up. You can look it up.
Brendan, I think
I'm
it's
not gonna look it
Brendan
up.
something. Yeah.
It's I we don't let's get some of these other Batman. He's got a rogues gallery of like 100 villains.
Well, that's the biggest
Stop
thing
going to the top, like the favorite
when
five.
it comes to Spider-Man and Batman. They are said to have the world's S-Bub says Barry Kogan.
Thank you,
Barry. I know
Bubs.
it was a B name.
Same. I just couldn't remember.
Uh, so when it comes to Spider-Man and Batman, they are said to have the greatest rogues gallery of all time.
They've got a
But
very extensive one.
they only play with the same 4 to 6 characters.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I think that you need to play with some other people.
I mean, don't get
Now,
me wrong. Like, hint at it the entire time. Like, I loved in Batman Begins them hinting at Joker at the very end with the playing card. And then, don't get me wrong, Heath Ledger's Joker was amazing.
yeah,
But you don't need to have him as a cameo. Have him just like walking down the street, and you see like this like the grin, like just a little corner of a smile. Okay, that fine. I'll deal with that. You don't need to revolve the movie around them. If you do, put them in like the third one. Get some other characters in there first.
yeah.
Give me Mad Hatter and Clayface. I've been saying that for years. Mad Hatter, Clayface. I want to see those two in live action.
See,
And I haven't
I
watched that
think
one.
I think a lot of people have been wanting Clayface just because it's a very comic book character. And
Yes.
I have been a big proponent for Batman, especially. Everybody ever since Nolan. Oh, I wanna be the next greatest grounded Batman movie director. Like, no, like I am reading Batman in a comic book universe. So when I see him, I want to see him do some comic booky shit.
Yeah.
And I know that
What's more comic
means
booky than mind control?
mind control, freaking
Well,
being
and then
able
even
to
yeah,
absorb and freaking move your face and disguise
Clayface
yourself as
is the
anybody.
perfect one because you can have multiple actors because
Exactly.
he morphs and changes. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I want it. Give it to me.
Yeah. It would be great. And I know one of the big proponents that I have been a big fan of, and I know Snell and all of the movie snobs don't want Batman with the white eyes because, oh, you need to see the emotion in his eyes. He
Nah,
can't act without his eyes.
you
He's
can.
stiff as a board without his
You can
eyes.
act with this. You can see what's going on with my lips here.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Body
mean, that was a
language,
bad, but yeah, exactly. Like
everything.
that's. Who was I talking to? I think I might have been talking to Ron over on Comic Rundown. We were talking about a movie, and most actors nowadays, most comic book movies, you get an actor and they don't want to like put a mask on them.
S Bubs,
Spider
have you
Man.
been watching Daredevil recently? He says, make it more and more realistic until you just have a guy dressed in a black shirt punching guys.
I mean, why not, right? But no, like you have like Tom Holland in a mask or Robert Downey Jr. in a mask. You cast those guys because of their looks. So of course you're going to be having them pull the mask off constantly.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I'm rewatching all the Spider-Mans before Friday. I just got through Tobey Maguire's set. He actually did not take his mask off as much as I thought.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I
he
mean it's
was
early
in the suit.
2000s and he was kind of, I'm not gonna say an unknown, but he wasn't as it,
He
it wasn't
wasn't a
as
Hollywood
popular.
rock star.
Correct. So
Mhm.
you can definitely emote with masks. There we watch Power Rangers. You could definitely tell their, maybe it was you I was talking to. You could tell their emotions
No,
half the
yeah, we
time.
talked about it. Yeah.
They overact a lot, but you can definitely
Yes.
tell it in their acting
Mhm.
because that's how they know how that you have to act like that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're taking the mask off constantly, well, what's the point of having the mask? You know?
Yeah. But in regards to Joker, I still think the best way you can do it is at the end of the movie when Batman is throwing the Riddler in a cell at Arkham. He just either hears a laugh and or looks to the other cell and just sees the Joker. And or you just see the black abyss of the inside of the cell and you hear the echo of the
I mean, that'd
laugh.
be fun.
And then Batman just walks away. Like that's the best thing you can do. Leave it to mystery so that way if Reeves really wants to do Joker, then hey, you've set it up. But if not, huh, at least he's in the universe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it at that. Now, before we jump into anything else, let's go ahead and take our very first ad break of tonight. Of course, we do not choose the ads. don't choose how many times they repeat themselves, and we don't choose the volume. So we will be right back right after this. All right, and we are back. So, Joe, I shared with you some news that has been coming out of Black Adam recently.
Mhm.
RPK said recently on Twitter that the Black Adam movie, of course, has a really good spot in 2022, and that the action is at the level of Infinity War and Man of Steel, with a whole lot of magic, and even in the same kind of realm of Dragon Ball Z fighting.
Which
How does
means
that make you feel?
it's gonna take 2 movies for him to throw one punch. Gotcha. No, it's. I'm not gonna say I'm excited. Like, okay, it's Black Adam. Like, I know the character well enough to where I'll watch the movie. But and don't get me wrong, The Rock is a draw, and he will obviously. I am excited to see him as Black Adam in 2007 when he was cast.
Yeah.
It's been
It's been forever.
forever, and nothing. I want to see the movie. I do.
Mhm.
Does it need to be Endgame or Infinity War and Man of Steel level? Man of Steel level, I can see, but like it doesn't need to be Infinity level of action. No, no.
Take a drink.
Can't,
I don't have my bottle. Where is it?
here we go. I got water.
So
No,
as
it's fine.
I will say this, Dragon Ball Z is my number one favorite anime of all time. RPK, Dwayne, do not write checks you cannot cash. That is what I am saying. Because I will tell you that
Dragon Ball level of fighting, that is a very high level.
it is a
Like
very high
it's
level. So you have two options with this. Either there's going to be a lot of blinking and a lot of sound waves to the point where you don't see actual fighting.
which
That's your
that'd be
first
very
option.
disappointing.
I mean, visually, I could see them attempt to do that to show how fast they are moving. Or two, your second option is to go the route of like the later seasons and even Dragon Ball Super, where you actually put into detail the craziness of the fights. And I am telling you right now, you cannot write those checks if you are not willing to cash. I'm sorry.
There's anime is a whole different monster that they've been doing that for
S Bubs,
years.
I will kick
And
you out of this chat for that comment.
Dragon Ball Evolution level fighting. I
Ugh.
love it.
Ugh.
No, like so anime fighting it's something when you watch it you expect that.
Mhm,
You know what you're getting going into watching an anime. You know it's going to be over exaggerated. I'm a huge One Piece fan.
mhm.
So that's another one in particular where the main character, Luffy, he's a rubber man, and one of his go-to punches or go-to attacks is his Gum Gum Gatling gun, which
Yep.
is just, a flurry of punches. You cannot now I am interested to see how that's gonna play out in the live action on Netflix when that comes out.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm not having high hopes. I'll say that
The
right from the
closest
start.
thing, I will tell you, the closest thing to Dragon Ball Z fighting that we have ever gotten on screen for a live action movie is The Matrix.
Okay. Yeah,
Be
yeah, actually,
because
yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
moment
because I'm rewatching that right now too. It's he's doing
there's a moment where,
the ghost punches almost.
he's doing the phantom punches
Yeah.
on Neo. Yeah. Like,
So
that
that
is the closest thing, and that was years
I
ago.
don't see, which should mean that it should advance and should be great. I
Yeah.
don't see Black Adam fulfilling that though. In all honesty,
It's going to, like, because I've always said, whoever attempts to do a Dragon Ball Z live action legitimately, not Dragon Ball
hold on,
Evolution.
that was legitimate.
No, it
They
wasn't.
tried. They
No, it
tried.
wasn't. No. I'm sorry. No, 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 no. So, legitimately, to the point of like accuracy to the beginning of the series to the end,
Gotcha.
like, or one start of the saga to the end of the saga, trying to do something legitimate for Dragon Ball Z. They have giant shoes to fill.
Hmm.
Now, saying, hey, we're going to try to do that in a superhero movie.
And
Whew,
automatically it should work. It's a superhero movie. Like superhero movies have become extravagant since really the 90s when they kind of started popping off.
yes.
And we're now sitting at the level of Endgame where I never thought I would have seen a battle like Endgame gave us there at the end
Yeah.
against Thanos. So, in theory, yes, Black Adam should be able to write those checks. But when they actually come to cash it, let's see if they actually will that dollar value will equal what they wrote.
Yeah. It's just something that I'm really nervous about. Like,
Yeah,
everybody can love The Rock and just be like, just like SBUB says, sounds like the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. Everybody can meme that to death.
there I have.
Like but I will always be hesitant with how much he hypes himself up in his movies. Like I understand that he has suave, he can, freaking show
Well, it's
charisma out
marketing.
the ass, and
It's
and
it's
and
it's
it
goes back to his
it's the
wrestling days.
WWE
Yeah,
days. Yeah.
yeah.
And I completely understand that. But the man made the movie Skyscraper. Like, watch that trailer. That's
Like,
all you need to
yeah.
see. Like, that's literally all you need to see. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I'm hoping for the best, but like I said,
Let's see.
when you put Dragon Ball Z into the conversation, like, I have my guard up like immediately. I it's just something that I have to
Well,
say.
and it doesn't help that Black Adam isn't a well-known character. It's well known because Rock has been pushing it for the last 14 years,
Yeah,
but it's even that well known is at a to a general audience is a very low level of known
which is going to
because
be very interesting when marketing really gets to
correct.
push it. I'm gonna be very interested to see how they do it.
They
Um,
need to knock that first trailer out of the park. If that first trailer is anything less than I don't even want to say great. If it's anything less than like good, I'll stick with good.
mhm,
Exciting
yeah.
trailer to get me hyped for the movie. If it's anything less than that, it's not going to be a good movie.
See, and I will say this, and this is something that I don't normally say when it comes to trailers. The trailer doesn't have to impress me. Like,
Okay,
I am not the target audience for
fair,
this
but that's
movie.
what I'm saying. Like for us, we're going to have a different standard of what we're judging it by. If it doesn't to a general audience person, like if I show the Black Adam trailer to my girlfriend who has no idea who that character is, if she is not like, "Oh, this is really good. I really want to see this now," then I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's what I'm gonna be looking for. I'm not looking for if it makes me excited. I'm not gonna look for, oh, this nitpicky here, this is kind of nitpicky there. Like, whatever. When it comes to this kind of movie, especially since, like you said, it is with a character that is not well known, your only connection is with Shazam, and you barely saw a magical silhouette of a history lesson of The Rock in that
Correct.
movie. Like, you need to sell the shit out of this movie,
Yeah.
you
The
know?
the Rock being the face of it is fine, but that should not be your one selling point
Yeah.
on getting people. And people will Rock fans will go to the movie for that in particular. I mean, he was the only reason I really wanted to see
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise was a good movie. I actually did
Yeah.
enjoy that.
But you are right. Like, he has an audience, but I am wanting to know how much other people will go see it, you know?
Correct. Yep.
It's the same kind of conversation that No Way Home is kind of getting with how crazy the marketing has been there. Like, without seeing those who shall not be
Uh-huh.
named, apparently,
Voldemort?
is the
Interesting.
is the general audience going to care?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it is what it is. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Chris over at the GUA chat actually shared this with us. It looks like the CW is making another show, another DC show.
This is my surprise face. It looks just like my normal face.
So it says here, this is going to be Gotham Knights. Now, people are like, huh, why does that sound so familiar? Oh, I know. Wait, isn't there supposed to be a video game in 2022 of Gotham Knights? Yes, there is. Now, it says here, in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Cape Crusader, and as the city's most wanted criminals, the renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in Gotham, with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors known as the Gotham Knights. This sounds like the worst Riverdale Batman crossover I have ever heard.
It sounds like we are Robin just on a villain level. Like the We Are Robin comic, just like, oh yeah, we're all Robins because we took up the mantle of Robin because we wanted to, but they're actually the what's Sky High. It's Sky
Yeah,
High with Batman characters.
that is an insult to Sky High. You take that
It
back.
really is. Sky
You
High
take
is
that
an
back.
amazing movie.
It is an amazing movie.
Love that movie.
Um, yeah, no,
This
I I immediately did the Dr. Evil
How about
gif.
no?
Hello, no. Uh
This definitely sounds, and we were talking off mic. It sounds just by that description, the rebellious adopted son. It's Jason Todd. It's Red
Jason
Hood.
Todd. Yeah,
But which is interesting because the Gotham Knights video game is it's Red
everybody.
Hood, it's Nightwing, it's Robin.
Yeah.
That's Tim Drake Robin, right? I can't
Yes.
remember. Okay,
Yeah,
and
it was Tim
Batgirl,
Drake and
and
Batgirl. Yeah.
like, okay, cool. So obviously the game and the show have nothing to do with each other.
Thank
Fine.
God.
Yeah, the game. I still am look forward to that game.
I'm so
I'll
looking
have
forward to
to.
that game.
I'll have to get my PS5 finally hooked up and online capability
I'm going to be
to play with you guys.
asking a week off for that game. Yeah, there will be a. I know my boss doesn't listen to this podcast. There will be a family emergency
Okay.
in that for a whole week.
What's your boss's name again? And what's their number?
uh, my Universe Comics. I know it's tilting. I am packing and I'm just throwing stuff all over the place because I am moving soon.
Mm-hmm.
So my Green Lantern spray painted poster behind me is lopsided, and I apologize.
It's been lopsided
But
for like 3 weeks, but we're not going to
yeah,
comment on
yeah.
that.
But I'm not looking forward to this because me and Heinz have already said we are not reviewing this. We're not touching this with a 10-foot
You
pole.
both were just like, no.
No. With how things are going with the CW, Superman and Lois is like the only saving grace for the CW right now.
Stargirl. Or you were a fan of it last year, were you?
It
That's
there
fair.
was it's slowly diving into, hey, I'm only allowed to be on the CW realm. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah.
They should have stuck it on HBO
They
Max.
they
Yes.
they had HBO Max budget with everything else CW.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
So
I'm
with this,
interested. Like I'll watch the first episode or two, maybe 3, just to give it a chance. But
I will say, as a comic reader, though, Joe, how much you want to bet Clown Hunter is in here?
ooh.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep.
Okay. But
This
Clown
is
Hunter is such a great
Stop
character.
it. Stop it right now. Don't lie to my audience. Not while you're a guest here. No, sir. No,
Do,
sir.
do we, yeah, okay. Okay. I'll give you that one.
It's
I
it's
barely finished Joker War, so I really
just
can't tell you that.
it's unfortunate, but just like these are not the shows that we want, you know? And don't get me wrong, because
I,
CW will hit all the right, the right pieces that they need to hit. It'll be diverse. It's going to be edgy. It's going to hit that right age demographic for the CW. Like it's going to hit all of the checklists for CW. I understand that. But as we have matured since Arrow season 1, and we have now since gotten things like Netflix Daredevil
mm-hmm.
and everything else that is coming out on Disney Plus, and even the non-Marvel related superhero shows on Netflix and other streaming services. These shows can be so much better, and the CW is just like, or we can do it our way.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. Maybe it's not the show it's the shows we want, just not on the right platform. But then again, you guys really had to drag your feet to watch Titans, so I I don't know, like because it sucks because it's either going to be CW or it's going to be HBO Max. We've seen good and bad from both. Like Doom
Yes.
Patrol was good with some hiccups, but Titans not so much. Flash started good way back when. Arrow started good way back when, and they
Hmm.
both have been faltering here and there. I This one's on me. I still have yet to watch Superman and Lois, which I will probably try to rectify that on my
It's on
week off
HBO
from work.
Max.
Yes, exactly. I need to watch it because I just watching The Flash tonight. Earlier today, I saw a commercial for season 2
Hmm.
starting up in January. So
Yep.
I need to get on that.
Which me and Heinz have talked, and we will be reviewing that
So I
weekly.
definitely
So,
need to get on that if I want to listen to the show.
yes. So, with Gotham Knights, me and Heinz will not be reviewing it. I I will most likely, because of course curiosity killed the cat, and
Glutton
I'm
for
just a
punishment.
glutton for punishment. I will probably watch the first episode. We probably will not talk on air about it, but we will give our thoughts, if anything. I may or may not, tweet about it. I'm not entirely sure. It really depends on how quickly this thing is developed. And of course, because of the way, like, I think it was Snell that asked, "Oh, is this going to be within the CW's, DC CW canon?"
Yeah, I think
And
Chris was like, "What canon?"
what canon is there? Because like
Yeah,
technically, Bruce Wayne is still missing and or possibly dead, but not entirely sure. And Kate Kane is out to go find him,
but
but
this is
also who knows?
if they just announced this, that means that it probably won't come out until 2023 season, maybe 2024, and that's assuming they give it a full 22 episode slate. And
God, I hope
with
not.
Stargirl, I hope not either. But like with Stargirl and Superman and Lois, it was 13 to 16 respectively.
Well, with the
So
newer shows, I think that
they're starting to lower the count,
they
which
started to
is
lower
good.
them, but they also started to be under the production of what HBO Max realm of TV is.
Correct.
So there will be potential with it, but because of the description, I can already make guesses. Like I said, Jason and possibly Clown Hunter are in there. I don't want anything Jason after Titans, and I really didn't like and don't like the Clown Hunter character
But that doesn't mean that
in
they
the
can't
comics.
rework the Clown Hunter character and make it work for live action. I'm not saying
Like dead.
I mean, all right, let's move along.
I'm just saying. I am just saying.
Which okay, so you've been reading the comics. Has he popped up ever since Joker War, or is he like
so
gone?
he recently popped up at the very end of the Fear State, and basically the only reason why he popped up in the middle of Fear State was so that Ghostmaker can be like, hey kid, you have potential, let's leave this town and go train. And so now they're both gone. So
Oh,
yeah, very convenient, huh? Yeah.
I okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All
So
right.
there's
I'll
that
read
for
those
you.
eventually.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Um, this I kind of wanted to talk about it like in the beginning, but I just kind of thought about it as we were planning this out.
Hmm.
Um, the video game awards, or technically the game awards, debuted the first teaser cinematic trailer for a Wonder Woman game. Now, Joe, you talked to me right before we went
Yep.
live, and you were kind of like, and there's nothing really to talk about
Yeah,
here.
it's a cinematic trailer. They show her in like silhouette the entire time. You've got Hippolyta talking over it, talking about her daughter,
Mhm.
and you don't see any gameplay because it's obviously early development.
Yes.
Show me gameplay, and then I might get excited. That's just me personally. I don't have time like a lot of other people do to be playing games constantly. I'm currently still in the middle of my Zelda replay, and I'm up to Majora's Mask. I've been playing that for the last 2 months, and I love
Nice.
Majora's Mask. I just
Mhm.
don't have time to play it. So
God, so many countless hours on Majora's Mask. I hated
yeah,
that game.
I love
It
that game.
Well, I hated it in the sense that it was so freaking hard as a child. That it was just like, God damn it, I just want to freaking beat
Oh
this
yeah, I
game.
forgot I'm older than you. I got that
Yeah.
game when I was like 13. So
So
anyway,
my
that was
universe
brand new.
comics says here in the comments, not gonna lie, I really want a full Justice League game. They had one called Justice League Liberty. It was the DC equivalent to that of a Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I will say it was actually really, really fun, but it was put out a bit quick. They were basically just trying to respond to Ultimate Alliance, and
What?
it could
DC
have been a lot.
respond without actually preparing something? They never do
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. The really cool thing about it was that you could change outfits and get a lot of cool looking
That's fun.
suits. For Batman, you could be Batman Beyond. For Green Lantern, you could be every single Green Lantern.
Very cool.
It was really, really fun, but it could have been so much better. As far as this Wonder Woman game, I am looking forward to this because I've been wanting a Wonder Woman game ever since I beat the PS4 God of War. It is something that I've always wanted. This
Oh, I
is
guarantee the mythology of it is just gonna be beautiful. And like for that alone, I would like to play it. I
yeah,
love like Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology, so that's gonna be
it's
wonderful.
it's going to be a fun world to jump into.
Yeah.
My only problem with this is that this is coming from Monolith. Now, I believe it was last year around the time that I got my PS5 that PlayStation Plus gave the free game of Shadow of Mordor, which is also by Monolith. I got through the tutorial of that game and then I turned it off. I did not like the gameplay. I didn't like the mechanics. I felt like it was a little stiff. I feel like probably if I were to go through a little bit more, I could probably see the fun in it, but I just didn't like it. Now, some facts here about the Wonder Woman game. It is going to be single player. It's an open world with original story. Diana will fight to unite the Amazons and mankind. Players will forge connections as Diana with enemies and allies as the game progresses. They have something that is called the Nemesis system, which means
Oh, okay.
basically just like Shadow of Mordor and whatever the sequel was to that series. If you fight somebody and beat them, and then like later on in your journey you meet them again, they will remember you.
They
Uh,
adapt. Yep.
exactly. So it seems fun. I think there could be really cool like fighting combos with your sword, your shield, your lasso of truth, and all of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing gameplay, but from then on is really going to be the selling point of if I'm getting it first day or waiting for the first
Wait
sale.
for a sale. Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take our hopefully last ad break. We will
Just
ask
say second to be safe.
yeah, second, just to be safe, we will do a listener question and then go on to our main topic of Flash Part 4 of Armageddon. So, guys, we will be right back right after this ad. And we are back. So, Chris from the GUA asked us a very important question,
Mm-hmm.
and this does come with a very saddening announcement that we didn't really talk about at all. I think Marvel, of course, talked about it. Marvel Alliance did. George Perez has announced that he does have stage 3 patriotic cancer. Now, I I have some family that have had cancer before. It sucks, just like Stephen Amell's campaign, "Fuck Cancer."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still remember wearing that shirt everywhere. And then my grandmother was like, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm supporting, this charity." But it is very, very sad. A man that was or is a comic book rock star. Um, and I had a discussion with my Batman News Weekly co-host, and I want to relay it to you. And I know this isn't like, I don't want to be disrespectful at all towards the Perez family or anything, but Joe, I'm just going to ask you: 40 years in the comic book industry, having the backlog of George Perez, what do you do with this news?
It was very heartbreaking. Um, Me especially, because it was one of those things where I I was unaware a few years ago that he had lost sight in one of his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he was always at the cons here in Indiana, the Indie Comic Con. He was there like every year, and every single year there was a huge line, and I'm just like, man, I'll just next year, I'll come back next year, and I'll just hop in line and get something signed by him or a thing drawn. And I never did. And for me, that's more of a selfish, like, oh man, I it sucks.
If
Now I
only,
never will. Yeah,
yeah.
because I did. Ironically enough, there was one year where I had the opportunity, but I went up and talked to Marv Wolfman instead, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret that one bit. He was sitting there by himself. Really, really nice guy. Um, but it sucks because starting out in the comics, I didn't know artists, I didn't know writers. I just knew stories and I knew characters. And it wasn't until later in my teens and early 20s when I started paying attention to that. One of the ones I started paying attention to was George Perez,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because of Crisis on Infinite Earths and Teen Titans. And hearing that news, it was devastating. It was heartbreaking. A heart goes out to the Perez family and what they have to deal with. And it what you gonna do? For my first thought, well, not my first thought, but one of my thoughts was he did a uh, store exclusive cover for my comic store for Action Comics 1000, and I
Nice.
and I got that cover, and I'm like, well, this isn't really his best work. I don't like the cover. In all honesty, it's fine, but it's not my favorite work that he's ever put out there.
You could tell very much that after so many years out of the game, he was kind of,
It was struggling a little bit. And
he
again,
was
this
he
is
was struggling with his sight,
after his
losing sight in one
yeah,
eye,
he's
and
done doing cons, and then his eyes weren't the best as they used to be. So it was more like I felt a little bit ashamed of thinking that
mhm,
after I heard this news. I know I shouldn't because it's still my opinion, but it's the industry has changed without his touch.
yes, mhm,
Well,
very much so.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah. But the question that comes from Chris is, Question from DCA for DCA. What are your favorite slash must reads from George Perez's stories? So I went ahead and asked you,
Hmm.
you need to choose one of each, a favorite and a must read. So, Joe, what is, let's go with favorites first.
So my favorite would have to be Teen Titans Judas Contract. It's one of those where I've read it in the past, loved it, but it wasn't until I read it for my show, Comic Book Rundown,
Mhm.
covering it, God, like a year or so back,
Yeah.
and reading some of like the behind the scenes stuff. There was an article in, or like a, a not about page, but like a letter in the beginning, and George and Marv are at a restaurant talking about how they're going to kill a teenage girl, and they were ecstatic. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, but I think I'm on board for that. But no, that is, it's a great story, great art. Weird, Tara, the 16-year-old doing things with Slade,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
best, but
Yeah.
you definitely saw it was the introduction of Nightwing, and Nightwing's one of my favorite characters. So,
Yeah.
what about you? What was your favorite?
So my favorite has got to be, of course, JLA versus the Avengers. Um, I was surprised on one of my birthdays in high school. My dad gave me the Infinite Crisis uh, trade along with the JLA versus Avengers trade. Um, and I remember flipping through that thing just to kind of see what I was in store for and seeing that double page spread of Superman with Mjolnir and the Captain American shield, and my mind just getting, just my
Blown.
brain just spewing out of my ears and just being like, holy crap, what am I about to read here? It is so good. Um,
Yeah.
and I told you before we started recording that that book had a really cool way of being like, oh, Marvel is good in this one aspect. DC is good at this one aspect.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to certain characters fighting each other, oh, y'all are equals. So like it was kind of fair, but it kind of wasn't. Um, like it was really cool how like certain items within their world, each other's worlds, did not work in the others.
Hmm.
The Infinity Gauntlet did not work with Darkseid, and like all these other different things. It was really really fun read. That is probably my favorite. Purely, it has a great cover. If anybody sees the
Yeah.
actual trade of it, I don't have the trade anymore, unfortunately, but I have found all of the single issues. It is a 4 issue miniseries. So
Yeah. You
if anybody can find it, I highly recommend it. I We were just
you looked
looking
it
at
up
it.
on Amazon.
I looked it up on Amazon just to kind of see how crazy it is right now. Hardcover is $400, while
Hmm.
the trade paperback is 150. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Look,
Joe, what?
I will spend. I tend to spend a lot of money on trades and comics like that. 150 for that book, not so much. I'll
Yeah,
wait. I'll wait.
I'm good with my 4 issues, that I
Yeah.
could just pick out and read.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Joe, that is our favorites. What is your must read of
My
George
opinion
Perez?
for a must read is Crisis on Infinite Earths. It is, it's a game changer when it comes to DC continuity. It correlated everything before 85 to one timeline. Cough line, cough, cough, one timeline. That, it was like the perfect story. They never had to do any alterations to it ever again. Nothing changed ever after that story. 0 hour. Infinite Crisis. No, it's a wonderful story. It's wonderfully done art. It also, they were not forced, but uh, put in there so many jumping off points for Guy Gardner coming back as Green Lantern. The not Shazam. Crap. There's some jumping off points for other storylines that I just can't remember right now outside of Guy Gardner for whatever reason. Oh, Wonder Woman, it redid the origin of Wonder Woman.
Hmm.
It
Which
honestly
is also a George Perez
correct.
run.
He wrote and drew that one,
Hmm.
which yeah, yeah, those are good.
But for my must read, um, it's kind of a cop out, but it is my opinion on a
It's
must
still
read
yeah.
is Judas Contract. Reason being, Nightwing is my favorite Bat family character. uh he like just the entire story beforehand of like him leaving Bruce and the drama that ensued inside Titan's Tower
Mm-hmm.
and the announcement and everything of how like, oh, I'm no longer gonna be Robin, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna be after this. And then it leads into Judas Contract and you see that gorgeous, amazing, I need to see in live action freaking disco Nightwing suit. I love it. I
We will
love the
never
blue and
get.
yellow.
We'll never get that live
I
action, right?
love the blue and yellow,
Actually,
and
I
it
shouldn't say
needs to
never.
happen.
I shouldn't say never because I could definitely see them doing that as like a flashback at
It
some point in
needs to
time.
happen. Not in Titans. I need to see it somewhere else. I need to see it somewhere else.
I mean, they
Because
can't. They
technically, they
jumped
can't
from
do it.
Robin
Yeah,
to
to
his
to
current
Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great story. It's an amazing story that put Marv Wolfman on the map for me when it came to writers.
Hmm.
And I
Really, the
currently,
Titans run in general, just that both them on Titans and revitalizing that
yeah.
was it. I mean, I'm not gonna say it changed the landscape of sidekick characters, but it definitely
Well,
made
New
them
Teen
not
Titans,
jokes.
yeah, yeah.
It
New
it
Teen Titans was a serious title for people thinking like, oh, this isn't just Robin.
yeah,
He is a
it's
leader.
or Kid Flash
Yeah.
or Speedy. Like these guys actually, they had their own rogues gallery. They had their own problems.
Yep. Yeah. And of course, like I said, it is the first appearance of Nightwing, which I have in a single issue in a
Same.
stack that is waiting to be graded sometime soon, hopefully.
That's one of those I've got issue 1 of New Teen Titans, both volumes, and
Nice.
I've got that issue that I'm like, oh man, I could have took it to the con. I could have had Marv Wolfman sign all of them and George Perez sign all of them. Would have been awesome. Woulda,
Yeah,
shoulda, coulda.
the one that I'm still looking for is the first appearance of Deathstroke. That's the one that I
Ooh,
kind of,
dude, good
yeah.
luck with that.
It's a rough one. It's a rough one to look for.
Yeah.
But with that being the last topic before our review, let's go ahead and jump into that. Of course, this is part 4 of Armageddon with the Flash. Joe, real quick before we get into too heavy of spoilers,
Mm-hmm.
overall thoughts.
It was enjoyable compared to the last couple, which, well, last 3, which just definitely seemed forced when it came to the the other heroes coming in. This one was it was fun, and I know both Chris and Brent were talking in the chat last Thursday or Friday after watching it, and they both said they enjoyed it. And I think one of them, maybe Brent, said, well, could have been Chris, just anything with Thawne, Reverse Flash is tends to be good, tends to be fun. I have to agree. This was a good one. Although Travis was wrong on one aspect.
And what is that?
Thawne did not say "Run, Barry, run."
No, that was me.
Oh,
I
you said
said
that. Oh,
I said as long as he has his moment of saying "Run, Barry, run,"
I thought Travis said that. Okay,
which
so
he
Clay,
didn't,
you were wrong.
which he
Hashtag Clay
didn't
being wrong.
have.
Well, not yet. I mean, spoiler alert: he's gonna be in the next episode. So
Yeah. So my overall thoughts. I am just waiting for the day that they just say fuck it and start playing the power of love in one of these episodes. I'm
Oh,
I'm just waiting for it. Like it's right there. I feel like it's like right on the edge. I feel like it's gonna happen
I will say
sooner
this:
rather than
the
later.
the love that Iris and Barry have that transcends even universes. Apparently, um, I've never seen that in any other medium ever. Like even Lois and Clark in the comics, like they definitely loved each other, but it was never a talking into the ether. Lois, my love. Clark, my love. Like what?
Yeah, it gets weird. Like so there's that one thing I would say I did not enjoy uh Damien Dark.
Oh man, I love that part. I
Now
love Neil McDonough.
Neil
In fact,
McDonough is a
yeah.
great actor. I absolutely love him. He is
Although he
the
was not so good in the Resident Evil movie, I'll just put that out there.
oof. I will say this: you see Neil McDonough, immediate villain. Doesn't matter what movie he's in, he's just villain, like villain. Like you look at him on the side of the street, and you're just like, he's a villain.
He wasn't a villain in the Star Trek movie until he got turned into a Borg.
Villain,
He got turned into a Borg, but
villain.
he was actually he was a red shirt. So
Dead.
yeah, exactly.
No, but the reason why I didn't like him in here was he turned too quickly. Like I didn't like the fact that he's just like, oh, you like you shared with me this experience that I've never seen before in with this time stone, and now everything's hunky dory. I want to save my wife or my daughter in another universe, and yeah, we're good, or
But you
in a
said it
different
yourself.
timeline.
You said it yourself. Power of love.
I hate it. I hate it. It is the worst part
It's
of
become a
writing.
it's become a trope. It's become a trope on the show.
Not just no. It not in just the show, in the genre. If you you read Wonder Woman comics, you read Teen Titans, you read Superman sometimes, like it is all about the power of love. And I'm sorry, I understand. I like Huey Lewis in the News just as much as anybody else.
If you've seen Back to the
But
Future, that's all
but
that's going through my head right
my
now.
god, like like seriously, I am just waiting for that song to be blaring in the middle of an episode.
It'll be the series finale. The
You
power of
think so?
love.
You think so?
God, I hope not. I can see it. I hope it's not though.
Now, so let's rewind back to the beginning.
Okay.
So we ended last episode and started this episode and that weird reception type of thing, hangout, whatever celebration that they were doing. Don't know what it was.
It was a private party for the West family.
Exactly. So we see everybody there, and then they see Barry, and they're like, "What is he doing here? Oh my god! Ugh, why are you even here?" Blah blah blah. And he's like, "I'm gonna prove to you that I'm the Flash." And he goes and he's like, "I'm sorry, I understand that you're in a hurry, but dude, if you see that your lightning is red and your suit is yellow, don't go back into that room."
But he does. He's got a one-track mind of I'm gonna prove what's going on. He's not seeing the lightning. He doesn't see the costume until he stops. I know. I know. It's
Also,
bad.
just want to say this. Tom Cavanaugh,
I love the man.
love the man. Dude looks horrendous in red. And I will say, I think it's the new design that I don't like
I would
with
say because
him.
he didn't look so good in the yellow at the end either.
If you give him the original Reverse Flash suit, I know it looked weird because it was kind of like leather jacket and like yellow
Yeah,
and
yeah.
black and stuff.
But that suit looked
That
good.
that looked better than this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to say it. Like it looks weird. And I think it looks weird because there's so much empty space around their eyes.
I hate to say it, but you saw the crow's feet on Tom. Like you
Oh
saw the
yeah.
wrinkles. I think
Hmm.
that's what got it for me. That's why it looked bad for me.
Yeah. I could see that. Um but in this timeline, we see Team Flash, including oh shoot, who Supergirl's sister,
Alex.
Alex. Sorry, I wanted to say Sarah. I was like, nope, the wrong person.
No, she's dead
Alex.
in this universe.
Yeah, Alex is a part of Team Flash. I guess they were like, hey, we only used you as a Skype call in your last crossover part in this series, so
Event,
let's
not crossover.
nah, same damn difference. You and Hines, man, same damn difference. Uh, so she's a part of it, and there was a moment where Iris and Eobard were like talking and they're kind of getting romantic. I was like, please don't kiss. Please don't kiss.
Right?
This is weird.
I
This is
was thinking the
weird.
same
Don't
thing.
do it. Like I
And then
like
they hugged, and
and
it
then
was
they
fine.
hugged. Yeah. So like in comics, in animated movies, I can totally get it. But because of how much on-screen chemistry they've had as just like coworkers and stuff, to that point for me, I was just like, don't do it. Like
I
this
think,
is
and
weird.
yeah, it definitely
This is
it
a
just
little too weird for me, you know?
yeah, yep. I'm right there with you.
So now me and you completely agreed on something that completely wasted our time
I mean,
in this
I think
episode.
maybe 10 minutes of it, maybe if that. I don't know,
It's
but
10 minutes that you could have put something else in.
exactly. And that 10
So,
minutes
Joe, what
is
are we talking
the
about?
Allegra and Chuck, is that his name? I can't
Yes,
remember his name.
I believe so.
Their apparent relationship.
Mhm.
They had 10 years ago, ironically in 2021, they had a one night stand that Allegra apparently, knew something would go from that, and they would actually could have been something, but she was scared, and so she left because she thought he left, but he was actually getting her breakfast. And but it was
It
dumb.
was
It was
it was
so
explained
stupid.
later. It was explained later that she didn't even like ghost him. That he
But
actually was there when he came back with donuts and stuff. And she's
and
like,
she was.
"Oh no, this is commitment. This is what commitment looks like. Oh no." Ah!
But
And like
it
she
was.
ran away from the relationship.
It was. I was like bored at that point. Like whenever those scenes came up, I started playing on my phone. I'm like,
Do you
this
know
is
why I
annoying.
didn't
This is
care?
boring
Do you know why it's a waste of time and I didn't care?
because it was a shit. Now here's the okay.
No,
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 why? Okay, go ahead. Because then I'll say something.
because it's an alternate timeline and means nothing.
Yes, exactly. Because guess what? By the end of it, it gets erased.
Because
Although
here's
what's going to
here's the
happen?
thing.
What's going to happen
There's
is
there's gonna be
it's
there's
going to be
gonna
a spark
be
throughout the
a
rest of the season.
spark, and us
Yeah.
as the audience is gonna be like, oh, this is when
Oh
it
no!
happens.
Yay!
Oh
It's going to be
no.
amazing. I don't care. I
I do
don't
not
care.
care whatsoever. At all.
Now, and
Not
that's
one
the
bit.
only part of this episode I didn't care about. The rest of the episode I loved. I loved the parts with Barry and Damien Dark. I was intrigued enough with Eobard like kind of directing the team and just kind of seeing all that stuff. Even the end when Barry gets Barry comes back to the timeline and you got Despero there who has already killed the rest of Team Flash and is starting to try and kill Cecile until Barry pops
I
up and
was
realizes.
I was this close from getting what I wanted. This close. She just needs to die. She needs to die. That I'm
Well, look,
sorry.
okay, here the timeline of her being annoying got erased, so
That's a
it'll be
lie.
fine.
That's a lie.
It's fine, totally fine.
Oh, also, just putting it out there also, the big reason why Barry is so adamant about fixing the timeline, other than the fact that Eobard is, a bad guy and doing all sorts of, evil
Killed
shit
him
with
as a
it.
baby, which is fun.
Yeah, very interesting. But the whole thing is to bring back Joe. So, Joe, did we see Joe?
I got so at the very end they give him a phone call, and I found it very interesting that we did not hear his side of the conversation.
No, we did not.
But yet Jesse Martin is
I
still tagged, like his name still shows up in the opening credits.
Yeah,
So I
because
don't.
he's in the scenes. Like they have the moment where like the camera footage of him falling, so they're gonna credit him. But I
But
don't.
the first episode he wasn't in the first episode at all, and
But
his
they
name
didn't
was still
show the
there.
footage.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But his name was still in the credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. He is still tied to the season. I know you were talking
Hmm.
that he's probably trying to go, and yes, you're right. He had the back surgery, or something with medically wise, which is why he was gone in season 5 or 6 for
Hmm.
half of it.
Yeah,
Or then when he was there, he was always sitting or always in a spot where he didn't have to actually do much.
yeah,
The actor, which I wanted to make a comment. You were talking about how this is a very action heavy show that he's been in. Dude was at NYPD. He was running all the time. Of course, he was in action in that. So NYPD Blue, sorry, NYPD Blue.
yeah,
Like he was in another action series. Going from that into this, of course he's going to have some like medical problems.
yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be gone completely. I think his role is just going to be seriously reduced. Like he'll just show up from time to time. I don't see him leaving completely. But I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
I think he's seeing the writing on the wall, and he's just like,
I
I think I need to head out. Which is funny because Robbie Amell is like, oh, I see the writing on the wall. I need to have one more episode because apparently
Yeah,
he's coming back in this season. Too bad we're
which
not going to watch it because
yeah,
I'm
no,
done
I
after
look,
next episode.
I love Robbie Amell. But I think I put when I posted that in the chat some time ago, and then I also posted I think last week that they're gonna have a Legionnaire show up, and
Yeah,
both times I'm like, this is cool and all. This is not going to get me to watch the show.
not bringing me back.
Yeah,
No siree. And it's like I said, if they like if they want to put a budget and a like hardcore team of writers into this show, give it to HBO Max. Like just say it's done, and then like the next year say,
I mean,
hey,
I could
we're doing a limited series on HBO Max, and be like, oh,
or
the limited series has been extended, you know?
or even
Like,
do like HBO Max like one-off movies.
yeah, no,
Something
you know
like
what?
that.
Just like what's the show? Oh, me and Abby are watching it now. Psych. They have
Yes,
movies on Peacock.
I love Psych.
Do the same thing with the CW. Like if Hines, I know I'm going to give him way too much hope when he listens to this, but
Green Arrow. What?
you can give you can give Steven a Green Arrow movie on HBO
You
Max.
could. I mean, I don't. It's not going to happen. I mean, the Stephen Amell was talking during COVID. Hey, I've got nothing to do because nobody has nothing to do. Yes, of course I can come back for a couple shows. Why not? I've got nothing going
Exactly.
on.
Yeah.
Well, everything's back up and running now, Stephen. I mean, sure, if you want to come back, go ahead. Are you going to
But
be
we know
with
you're busy
Spectre
also.
or? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
He's got his own little stuff going on now.
So it is what it is. It ends again, this whole thing where uh like you said, the timeline is basically renewed
it gets
or
it it gets
fixed,
erased, and yeah, the right timeline comes in.
and Barry just talks to freaking, oh shoot, what's his name?
Despero.
Despero. He's like, Well, you forgot to just be patient and wait long enough to know that I fixed everything, actually. So there you go. And I'm just like,
He wasn't
whatever.
that snooty.
I mean, essentially, that's what it was. It was like,
I
hey,
mean, yeah.
Ilbar Thon did this, and I was actually fixing it in your timeline. You were just way too impatient and saw chaos and just immediately wanted to kill me. And as soon, as soon as in the middle of the episode, when like Barry puts two and two together, I'm just like, this is dumb. He runs at Mach 20
Mhm.
in less than 2 minutes, by the way. That's the whole point is to run in less than 2 minutes, Mach 20, while everything else is going on. Damien Dark
He's
is in the middle of a fight with freaking Killer
which
Frost. And who's
who
the
is
other
that
guy?
guy? That's what I was gonna ask. Is that supposed to be like
He
wildebeest
says
or is
he
that?
says Chill Junior or something.
Oh yeah, he did the freeze thing. Sorry, the vest maybe kept thinking of like Vixen for whatever reason, but no,
No, I was like, why the
maybe
hell
that's
is
what's his name? Not Frost. He's a big player in Young Justice. Like he was in the very couple first episodes. Superboy came up against him in season 3, and they were talking about how he's getting married
Icicle?
to yes, Icicle Junior. Maybe that's him. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, probably, to be completely honest. But like this is the one thing that I understand what they are attempting to do. I understand this. The concept of time is different because you have to show how fast Barry is, but also give screen time to other characters.
Yeah,
Do you know how fast Mach 20 is? And
pretty fast,
do you know how quick 2 minutes is?
pretty quick. Becoming a
Now,
being a podcaster, yes, I do know how quick 2 minutes is.
but also we're also fans of anime. And
Yes,
just like I just watched a couple episodes before we went live. The last season of or the last few episodes of Dragon Ball Super is a tournament that is literally 10 minutes long, and there's like 14
15 episodes.
episodes
Yep.
of that entire tournament. Like it
There,
I understand
there's
what
a
the
joke
attempt is.
why when what's his name from Dragon Ball, not Gohan. Oh wow,
Goku?
thank you. Take my nerd card there, Jesus. Um, with Goku, it takes 5 episodes to get a Spirit Ball. You
Exactly.
know,
Like I understand what they are attempting to do here in the Flash, but I'm just like all you had to do was get Barry to run, and that's the end of it. But then, of course, we get this other story of
you need the
how him
suspense.
him and Iris are like Iris is disgusted with him because he's actually like the Reverse Flash and has killed so many people or whatever. And like he's like, "Oh, you're my lightning rod. You're my lightning rod." And then she's like, "Eobard, why would he say that? I'm only your
Only you
lightning
say
rod.
that to me.
Why would you say that? Why would he say that?" And then at
I
the
know.
very
I'm in. So I was okay. What? So today I watched Amazing or no Spider-Man 2,
yeah,
which is I watched the extended cut, which doesn't have a lot of extended, like it's just extended scenes. But there's a scene in particular which I did not remember, and that was Mary Jane talking to her play friend about how she feels about being engaged to John Jameson, and her
yeah,
friend is like, you just you feel okay. No, you shouldn't be telling me you feel okay. You should be telling me this, and list off a whole bunch of things. And so then watching this episode of Flash, and Iris trying to write out her wedding vows to Eobard, and who was it? Batwoman saying, "Oh yeah, like just feel in your gut. You've got if you know what your gut will say." In my head, I'm like, I literally just watched this a couple hours ago in Spider Man. It's you know what you know you're not in love with this guy because you actually love this guy. Huh? Interesting. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, exactly how I thought. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's
This is the show, and I'm sorry, like the threat is done, and like, oh, but there's still one more episode left. We're gonna see Mia.
yeah. I was
I don't care anymore. I don't. Like, is the threat not over?
well. I mean, we get
Because
that like mid scene that they always do where Eobard shows up in the one room and talks to
Cortana? No.
basically
Yeah.
Gideon. There we go. It's Gideon.
Yes.
Is it? Yeah. So
And that's where I saw the suit did not look great.
correct.
That was, and I think it was more so like all the lights were on him, so you could really see the suit and everything.
You can really see those crow's feet.
Yeah. So I, and he like, I think the suit like just is not very mobile because he was kind of waddling and then his whole body moved for him to like wave his
Do the
hand.
ham. Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, like this is season what now? And you haven't figured out how to wave your arm inside the suit?
They haven't had to use that suit. Like which is worse because they specifically made it for the season. And they're copying it off of Barry's suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what I'm saying, Joe.
I still like the episode. The episode was still out of the 4. This is the better.
This
of the
is
4
the better
episodes.
episode of the 4.
But there are still flaws.
A lot of them.
I'm looking. Let's see what next week brings. Which I guess you said yourself that you technically don't have to watch it since you're not going to be on it.
Hines has told me that he would wait, and I'm just like, you bastard. So he's gonna ask me either way when I come back.
That's fair.
But that being said, that is it. That is the end of our episode here on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network here on DCA. Joe, thank you again for coming onto the show while Hines studies for all of his exams and whatnot. Yep. So
always glad to be here, man. It's always a fun time.
Where can they find you? Where can the audience find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at _actually_. That's my personal handle. You can find my shows, A Walk Through the Multiverse at Walk the Verse, and part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network show every other Saturday. And you can find my other show, Comic Book Rundown, on Twitter at Comic Rundown and on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown.
And of course, you can always find me on Twitter at Fanboy Clay. Look at the bio. You can find the link tree to all of the shows that I host, that including DC Alliance, Batman News Weekly, Comic Book Legion podcast, Weird Science, Marvel podcast, Ranger Alliance, and of course the newly added Star Wars Alliance. So guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will not see you next week. Hines will see you next week, and I will see you guys in 2022. See you later.